first memory I have of reading a book has everything to do with pictures. I mean, it's very natural for young children to fall in love with books, starting with the illustrations. And all young children love to, open up a book, look at the captivating pictures, the colorful, images that really pull them inside the world of reading. But slowly and gradually, it does become important for us to teach them how to read. And that's where the words become really, really important. So how do we actually develop a child's curiosity towards the words in a book? Of course, you could always start with drama. Drama is really, really important to children. As a storyteller, you want to create that environment where children feel the wonder. The wonder has to be there around books. So if you're introducing a new book that you're going to read with them, it's very important to create something very special related to it, whether it is, pictures, cutouts of characters, depiction of the most important scene in the book, in whichever way you can make the session extra special. Maybe you are wearing a prop that one of the character holds in the book, and that is one way of creating a little bit of drama for kids, because they love that when they want to have a story reading session. Now, if you've been successful in creating the hype around the story and the book, I feel like you've won half the battle, because now you're going to be surrounded by an enthusiastic lot of children who will want to open the book and find out what the story is all about. One way of getting children really engaged with the story text is to completely avoid it in the first reading. What I used to do with my grade 2 students was a picture walk. So you cover the text and you just look at the pictures. Now, the entire energy and excitement of trying to construct a story based on picture evidence really builds children's comprehension skills as well. And all the ideas that they're sharing, come with supporting details or evidence that they, use to justify their stance on it. So turning each page, looking at the pictures, guessing what the story is going to be about, reading the character expressions as drawn by the illustrator, and trying to figuring out what they're feeling at that point of time develops the children's emotional intelligence as well. So picture walks are really, really important, and they kind of built up that, that strong foundation for story reading. And so once we would be through the pictures, and I just wanted to show an example by using one of these books. So let's say that, we're on page 1 and we see this picture, and the children are going to make their own guess on, what's happening in the picture, what might be the names of the characters, do they think it's a family, where are they, what might they be doing there? Based on all the evidence in the picture, they're not reading the text at the moment. It's all covered. They're just looking at the pictures and trying to develop a story. And so as they move through the storybook and they keep looking at different pictures, they keep guessing how the story is progressing. And this is the exciting part, because they're creating their own storyboard. And that in itself is also bringing out their creativity. It is bringing out their, their imagination, and they're becoming better storytellers at the same time. So once this entire session of picture walk was done, it would be a fruitful lesson, because by the end of the lesson, we would have created our own version of the storybook. And now, so the next day when you come and you want to read the story, you can imagine that now children would not be bothered about the pictures. They have already created a story out of those pictures, and they've seen those pictures. Now their interest is in actually reading the story and finding out whether, all the predictions that they made in the story, or all the ideas that they had shared through the story, does the author also agree with them? Or is the story really what they have constructed? So now they are not going to be interested in the pictures. They're in fact going to be hungry to read those words, because they are going to want to find out if the story matches, to what they had created. So you can kind of imagine, the emotional outbursts that would come through the reading session, because they read a part that actually fits into their story plot, or a part that's completely contrary to what they had imagined. So it kind of also keeps them on the toe to keep a track of how their plot is different from the other. You could also do like a compare and contrast activity where they can actually look at all the similarities and differences that they've created between the two stories. So creating curiosity in children for words is not such a hard thing. It's just really important for us to understand what they like in reading. And depending on the age group that you're catering to, you can always create the wonder around the words. It is really, really rewarding if the children look forward to the story reading session, and you see that slowly and gradually they've begun to understand the importance of words, the power of words, how words can convey feelings, how words can portray characters, how they can solve problems. So do try out this strategy with your children and add in the silly fun to make the session interesting. Be the storyteller who makes children love reading.